I'm Anastasia Fishner, and today Hang Out with Me is on the theme Should Love Always Be a Sacrifice? Should love always be a sacrifice? Please let me know if you can hear me and let us also know where you're joining us from. God bless you. I want you to enjoy this Christmas
It's
jingle.
beginning to look a lot like Christmas
I have no copyright for this song, Facebook, please. It's just
everywhere
for
you
entertainment.
go. Take a look at the 5 and 10. It's glistening once again with candy canes and
Please share,
silver
share, share. God
lanes that
bless you.
glow. It's beginning to look a lot like
Welcome. Please
Christmas.
share, share, share.
Toys in every store. But the prettiest sight to see is the holly that will be on your own front door.
Yeah, welcome. Yeah, welcome to Hang Out with Me. So our topic today is should love always be a sacrifice? And I know people will just say yes is a simple answer, or rather, is a simple question that needs that has a simple answer. But we should also look at the word sacrifice and what the word sacrifice itself means. You know, like the dictionary defines sacrifice as slaughtering something to offer to a deity. Or in another form, sacrifice means surrendering something of great value to appease someone else. Sacrifice could be um, uh, given something of that is worth something that worth something so much value to you, like a possession to to someone else. So you see that sacrifice is actually something huge. So when we say uh should love always be on sacrifice, people just like, of course love should always be on sacrifice and all that. And my question is, if love is always on sacrifice, or should always be on sacrifice, why is it that despite the fact that what people try to sacrifice to their spouses or their partners, despite their sacrifices, the love did not work? So we need to define what we give, and we also need to define what we share, and of course the motive we use in sharing those things. So I would say that sacrificing something of great worth is good for love. Yes, sacrificing a great thing for love is good for love. Sacrificing great valued thing is good for love, but we have to check the motive behind the sacrifice that you make, because the motive behind the sacrifice that you make will define if you actually going to like be happy at the end of that sacrifice. Because when we make sacrifices with a motive that is irrational, it bounces back at us even in a tragic form. And that's why some people will say, I sacrificed a lot for this lady, I sacrificed a lot for these women, for these men. Despite all my sacrifices, he left me. He broke my heart. Despite all my sacrifices to her, she left me. Have you ever thought about that? Have you ever thought about the reason why it happened like that? I'm sorry for coming a bit late today, but just bear with me. I was having some technical issues, but I'm here. So, our topic today is, should love always be a sacrifice? And there are some fundamentals that I want us to think about. When we love someone, we shouldn't love that person to the extent that we can live with that person. No matter how you try to love someone, love the person in such a way that you leave the person in the place of God. You leave the person up to God. Don't love in a situation in a way that you love so much that you forget your head. You know, because that's why some people, when they get married to someone, or they get in a relationship, they find it difficult to leave the person. Is like they become an entanglement. And if the person becomes an entanglement, you know the person you are entangling yourself with might not be finding it difficult. I mean, might not be finding it comfortable, rather. So that's when love becomes, the sacrifice becomes useless. So in as much as we want to sacrifice, we want to help our spouses, we should do that with the notion that we are doing it for God. And in case anything happens, we are doing it for God, and we can move on with God. So in another way, I'm trying to like kind of explain it so that we will understand where I'm going. In another show, it means we have to make sure that when we love, the people that we love, um, the priority that we give them do not exceed the priority that we give God. That is to say that despite the fact that we love, despite the fact that we love, or we want to love, we should love with a consciousness that God is our superior love. So when you begin to hear, or if you leave me, I can't live without you. If you leave me, I will die. All those ones, they are irrational statements. They are irrational love, because you don't need to die for someone. You don't need to, give it up for someone just because you love the person. That is no longer sacrifice. That has become irrational. And irrational love always brings tragic ends. Irrational love brings tragic end. Some people are into irrational love, and they try to sacrifice everything they have for that love. And they want the person that is in love with them to do whatever they want, because they feel they sacrifice a lot for that relationship. So they feel they owe the person the duty to behave the way they want. But we should also know that in a relationship, or in human being, we have our own uniqueness. So your spouse cannot act exactly the way you want her to act 100% all the time. So that's when the place of another critical thinking comes in a way that when we begin to fashion our spouses to behave in a certain way, we are also reducing them in a place of caging them. For example, I- you know it's like you caging them or bottling them up in a place that they feel like, I cannot go out of this place because I don't want my husband to get angry. I don't want my wife to get angry. I don't want my wife to know. I don't want my girlfriend to know. I don't want my sweetheart to know. So because you try to psychologically put them in a cage, or in a bottle, in what I call a bottle, that tends to like put them there, that okay, this is where you want to be, because you feel like, oh, you are sacrificing a lot, so they should do whatever you want them to do. I mean, it is good if your spouse or your partner begins to do whatever you want him or her to do. It is a good thing, because it's going to help also your family to move forward. But what about if your partner is the one um requesting that you also stay in that particular place of the border, whereby you will do whatever he or she wants, or whatever he wants. So in a marriage relationship, I would always advise that there should be liberty. There should be liberty. There should be liberty in whatever we're doing. In as much as we want to sacrifice, we want to be there for our spouses, we want to spare our own time, we want to be ahead of them. Be there to help them ahead of time and all that. We should not forget the place of our personal priorities, and of course, the place of the priorities of God. So now, if we consider the prior the as if we consider God as priority one, and we consider our spouses as priority two or three, and we ourselves as priority two or three, depending on how you want to classify that, then you will know that you will not end up in an irrational or irrational love, because irrational love makes you to possess your partner in such a way that nobody else can temper, and of course nobody else should be you want to own the person, you want to take absolute ownership of the person. I know when you're married, you and your spouses, you become one, and you own yourselves, but there should be a place of freedom, because if there's no freedom, then there's manipulation. Welcome, all of you. I'm so happy you joined because I started a bit late. I'm almost 1 hour late. I was having difficulty connecting, but I'm glad I'm here. Welcome, DB Bomber. So today I decided to go live on my two pages. I went live on, I think I'm live on my author's page and of course on my official page. So I tried. So Bomber says, joining from Podanco. Welcome, Bomber. Welcome, Simon. This Simon Coco, welcome. Says good morning. Tochku says good morning, my season's greeting. God bless you. Season's greeting. Kelvin Kingsley says season's greeting. Yeah, blessings. So today we're talking about, should love always be a sacrifice? And I would say yes to that, but if that love is not irrational, because if the love is irrational and if it's sacrificial, then somebody's going to end up in a tragic form. So should love be a sacrifice? Mm, we love if you love if you do not love her so much to idolize her, then love should be a sacrifice. If you do not love her too much to idolize her, then love should be sacrifice. That is to say that in as much as love wants to be a sacrifice, we should not love somebody too much to the extent of idolizing the person now becomes your god. I want you to know that anything that you do too much is your god. So when you begin to love somebody too much, the person becomes your god. You know, the person becomes your god. So you have to do everything moderately. You have to do everything moderately. So when you also want to love too much, you begin to sap the person's life. You begin to suck life out of the person. There is no longer a breathing space for the person. In as much as you want to love, let the person be given up to God in such a way that you just leave your partner in the hands of God. Like, God is in control of this relationship. I love you with all my heart, no doubt, but I still love God. Don't love human being more than you love God, because when you do that, you sap life out of that person. At the end of the day, it becomes tragic. So you live for their everything, and you become their source of life. When you love them too much, you become their source of life. I'm not saying you shouldn't love your partners, because some people just say, this one that this woman is saying we should not love too much. Yes, anything that is done too much is bad. You can imagine somebody saying, I will die, I will do this, I will do this if you don't love me anymore. Then it's no longer love. It has become irrational poison. So love should be something that you cherish. Even when your partner is not there, you cherish them, you cherish their moments, you miss them. There's no doubt about that. But when you love in a place that God first loved you. And if God first loved you, the person you're loving the second should not be above the person that first loved you. Okay. Let me know if you have questions, because I won't be staying so long into this broadcast. I'm taking notes. Okay. Ibinabor Joseph said, I am taking notes from today's messages. Yeah, blessings. Please help me to share also so that other people can join. God bless you. So when you love too much, you suck life out of your partner. So don't make anyone feel uncomfortable with your love. Because when they feel uncomfortable, they want to avoid you. They want to stay away from you. Even though I love this girl, she's running away from me because you're making her uncomfortable. In as much as you love someone, give them breathing space, give them space. They need space. They need breathing space. They need space sometimes. They need to have their own privacy. you know don't make anyone feel uncomfortable with your so much of sacrifice. Because when it becomes too much, they feel like, this is too much, I can't even breathe. So, and in that sense, love might also tend to become irrational. Irrational means possessive, too much possessive, that like you become so selfish about you and the love that you have for that person. Too much of sacrifice is also suffocating, especially when the love is irrational. Too much of sacrifice becomes suffocating, especially when love is irrational. So make sure your love is not irrational, your love is not egocentric, your love is not selfish. Then when you sacrifice, your sacrifice will be what you sacrifice on will also be seen, will be visible. But if it's an irrational love, the sacrifice that you put in will not be seen. It will be seen as a torment. It becomes like a poison. So let yourself uh, let yourself be more attached to God to avoid hatred that comes with irrational love. Yourself should be attached to God, so nobody pulls you out of God. Because you want to love, but don't love out of God. When you love in God, it means God takes priority. But when you love out of God, it becomes infringement and entanglement that might be uncomfortable for the person that uh, you want to put that to. It becomes irrational. Uh, DB says, great woman of God, God bless you and your team. Amen. Bless you, DB. Let me see what Simon says. Love shouldn't replace God in your life. Amen. That's what I mean. Love shouldn't replace God in your life. In as much as you love, let God be there. Some say that love without sacrifice is lost, which is also true. We need to sacrifice for one another. You need to be there for one another, but not at the detriment of God. Not at the detriment of God. Even if we want to be there for one another, or each other, we want to give to that relationship, but not to the detriment of God. So when somebody holds on you, controls, when somebody holds on you, control is evident, and there will be no freedom or breathing space. When somebody takes hold on you in an irrational way, there will be no more breathing space. And you now be crying, oh, I'm sacrificing all that. I'm sacrificing all this for this young lady, but she's not looking at my side. It's because you're taking it so irrational. Everybody needs freedom. Everybody needs breathing space. So love correctly, sacrifice correctly by letting God be your number one in that relationship. Okay, Do not be dependent on your partner. Meaning, do not become a parasite to your partner. I have a question. Go ahead, please. I don't have so much time to stay today. I have a question. If God is love, how can love be detrimental to God? God is love, and God is not, love is not detrimental to God. I mean, when you love, don't love detrimentally um, against the principles of God. That's what I actually mean. For example, like, because you want to love someone does not mean you not take the person as your God. So if you love in a way that you do not recognize God, that love becomes detrimental to God. I don't know if I answered your question, James. Yeah. He said, if God is love, how can love be detrimental to God? Love becomes detrimental to God if you love the person above God. Love becomes detrimental to God if you love the person, your partner, above God. That's why the scripture says that God is a jealous God. So, because anything that you love more than God becomes your God and it becomes detrimental to God. So, in as much as we want to love, in as much as God is a definition of love, we shouldn't love our partner more than the way we love God. Because when it happens, it becomes irrational and it becomes tragic. Okay. Let me know if I answered your question, and let me know if anybody has question. Love God above all. Yeah, I think Michael John also wrote that. I said, put that in the comment section. Love God above all, but give room to also love your spouse. Correct. So, James, I think I've been able to answer that question. Love becomes detrimental to God if we love people more than God. When we now begin to do things as if the partners that we love, they are our all and all, they become everything. So God is also not happy when we do not recognize him any longer because we have found love. It's not going to change the character of God anyway, but it becomes detrimental to your own being later, because if that person that you have chosen to be your God, if that person disappoints you later, it's going to be a torment. So that's when love becomes a poison. Okay. So do not be a parasite to your partner. The partner that wants you to depend on them, to do what they like for them, to be happy. So there's like, they have to put you in a case, you have to do something like this for them to be happy. So you're no longer living for yourself, you are now living for that partner. And there's actually nothing wrong about it if that person is normal, if the person is rational. But if that person is irrational, then it's a problem, because the person wants you to do that at all times, to do that whatever he wants, that's what makes him happy. So if what he wants that makes him happy is detrimental to God, then that's when there's a big problem. So in as much as we want to satisfy our partner, in as much as we want to make them happy, in as much as we want to be happiness bringer, we should always learn not to depend on them to be happy. Because some people say, my wife has to do this for me to be happy all time. Learn to have your happiness within yourself. Learn to build up your happiness within yourself. Build up your happiness. Excuse me. Build up your happiness within yourself. Let happiness come within yourself. Let happiness that come from other people, let it be a secondary happiness, so that when they don't give it to you, you will still be happy. I don't know if I'm making sense. I don't know if I'm making sense. My question exactly is, if someone claims he or she loves you and can barely find time for you, what can one do? let me say, anybody that loves you must create time for you. I mean, nobody will say, okay, you, because I love you, I have to be with you 24/7, every minute and all that second. Not really like that. But anybody that claims to love you, we have time for you. Even if you're not very close, I mean, you're not living very close, you live distance. The world has become a global village. With a phone, you can connect with people all over the world. You can do FaceTime all over the world, So people should learn how to create time for their loved ones. And that's part of sacrifice. So love also entails that sacrifice of creating time. When you can create time, it's like also sacrificing. So love actually depends on so many things. Sacrificing for one another is good. But somebody that claims to love you must truly sacrifice time. Okay, if he claims to love you and he's not there for you, then he's not going to be there when you marry him or her. Okay, so your happiness should not depend on other people. Your happiness should come from your place of your heart and what you believe in. Sacrifice is good, especially when it's coming from both parties. Both parties involved in that relationship should sacrifice for one another. Don't make it one person thing. So if love is sacrifice, then love should be seen as people sacrificing for one another. Okay? People sacrificing for one another. People lending support to one each other. And also, sacrifice here also means prioritizing your partner's need. So if you really want to love, you should also be ready to prioritize your partner's need. What your partner's need should be also of high priority to you. So like I was doing the equation before, if God is priority number one, your partner could be two or you three. You have to choose between, or you can do two, three, two, three. Let it not be two for your partner at all times. So you can shift from two to three. So sometimes you can prioritize by making your partner to be the number two priority. Then you kind of cool down or kind of let go of your priority to bring also happiness to your partner. It's also good. But if you're doing it all the time, then making yourself not happy just to make your partner happy, or trying to suppress yourself, that's also not good. So that's why I said you can put it on a chart, like God priority number one, your partner two, then sometimes three, sometimes you two, sometimes your partner three. And that's the key, what's it called, the key strategy that we can use to navigate a stable relationship. That's the key strategy we can use to navigate a stable relationship. Okay, so you try to like navigate through that chat. Some Tuchuk says, Mar, how can one handle a situation where the partner has trust issues but prefer not to talk about it? Rather, the partner keeps quiet on some situations. Wow, that's a very difficult one, especially when there's no communication. The one of the keys that help relationship is communication. But if the partner is not communicating issues to you, it is not opening up, then it's actually difficult. So I think the answer should be to find a strategy of letting your partner open up. So we have to re-strategize or develop a strategy that will open up, that will make the partner to open up. So when we strategize to make them open up, to share their own parts, that's when we can be more efficient, or bringing better solution to help us achieve our goal. But when the partner is not opening up, then we can also use our own initiative, but sometimes it's not always the best. if the person can talk and open up, is always the best, you know. So you try to, in that case, you have to re-strategize a principle or a strategy that can make the partner open up. How can one handle a situation where the partner has trust issues or prefer not to talk about it? And if you have trust issues, then it's a big problem, because for marriage or relationship to work out, you should be able to trust your partner. I mean, even if you don't trust them like 50%, you should be able to have a you should be able to believe in what they can do. Even if you can't believe in what they can do, you should be able to give them a chance to prove what they can do to you. So to prove what they can do and achieve with you. So, so people that have trust issues, they should also give people a chance to prove. So because if somebody have trust issue, then it's a problem. So a way of trying to get out of that lock, a way of trying to get out of that cage of trust issues, is to allow other people chance. So allow them chance to try them, because some people begin to develop trust issues because of where they are coming from, because of what they have been through. So they are living from the past. So the best way to come out of that place, to come out of that shell, is to allow yourself a new beginning and give other people chance to try and see if they're going to be like the ones you have experienced before, if their character is going to be like the ones. Jesus perfect grace of the Lord. Amen. Thank you for joining. Something I hope I've been able to answer your questions. When somebody have trust issue, it's really difficult, but there is nothing too difficult for God to do. So in such situation, the person needs to open up and allow other people chance. Because if not, we don't want to judge the person with his issues. So the person that is also dealing with somebody with a trust issue can also visit a counselor for other private answers that I might not be able to share here online. But there are some reasons why the person is not opening up. And those are the things that we discover. So if you have somebody with that kind of issue and you would like to come to my inbox, you can write me privately. Then I can open up some other strategies on how to unravel that. Meanwhile, you can get a copy of my book, Dare to Love. I think in that book, you can get some principles also on how to unravel the inner intents of your partner's heart. God bless you. The link to buy the book is on the comment section. I just put the link on the comment section right now. So go get the book, and the book which also shed more light on how you will be able to do that. So yes, Ma, thank you for sharing your thoughts. Yeah, bless you. So now prioritizing, that's the link to get the book Dare to Love. That will also connect you to the realm of finding out what your partner's doesn't want to say. Sometimes there are sometimes they don't want to say it, but you can find out with some principles that I've already mapped out in that book. So sacrifice from both parties is very important, and of course prioritizing your partner's need is very important. Remember also your own self. Your own self-care is important. Don't forget, your own self-care is important. Don't prioritize your partner's need and forget your need. So remember your own self. Take care of yourself while you take care of others. Do not neglect your own priorities. Okay? Do not neglect your own priorities. In as much as you want to sacrifice, in as much as you want to sacrifice, because love is sacrifice, do not forget your own needs. Do not forget yourself, because so many women, they sacrifice so much in their marriages that they forget themselves. Before you know it, they start looking tattered, they start looking haggard, and before you know it, the man that they're sacrificing for will leave them and go for side chick, because they have forgotten themselves. So in as much as you're sacrificing for your man, don't forget the place of your health. Don't forget the place of your sanity. Don't forget the place of your personal care, personal hygiene. Don't forget the place of your personal treatment. Take care of yourself, you know. Take care of yourself, woman. Take care of yourself. This is particularly to women. You get married, you were looking so take away and so beautiful, and so you started getting old, you're looking so, I don't want to mention that. Some people say it's because of old age. It's a lie. It's not because of old age. It's because you have forgotten to take care of yourself. Some of them, they start giving birth to children, and they now concentrate on children and they forget themselves. You know, you don't need to forget yourself. In as much as you want to sacrifice for your family, you want to sacrifice for your children, good. God has already blessed you as a woman with the spirit and the power, energy to multitask. So the Lord has already blessed you with a multitasking spirit and energy. So use that wisely. In as much as you want to help, not only women also, let me also be frank here, because some men, they try to help their women and they forget themselves. you know some of these some people, the some people, marriages or relationship break because of neglect of them own selves. It's not even because of the neglect of their own spouses. No, some people's marriage break because of the neglect of themselves. So don't neglect yourself. Take care of yourself. James says this book will be of great value. Yeah, yeah, thank you. Yeah, the book is a blessing. If you can get hold of that book, There to Love by Anastasia Fishner, you can get it on Amazon. Is a blessing for you to know what to do and what not to do, and how to be the best you can be. Okay, sacrifice, giving, surrendering all of a great possession to someone else that you valued is a great deal. But in as much as you sacrifice, don't forget yourself. Don't forget yourself. Don't forget yourself. Take care of yourself. Take care of your children, and you will be fine. Okay? Don't go and put all the sacrifice that you have on this earth to a man, and you forget yourself. And at the end of the day, the man is kicking you out looking for side chick, or at the end of the day, your woman is still kicking you out looking for side G. So because it's both ways. Yes, it's both ways. Especially here in Europe, we see women kick their husband away and say, oh, and you ask them why, they are gonna say, oh, I don't like him again. It's too big for my liking. It's too dirty for my liking. It's too this. It's because the man has neglected himself. When the man first met the lady, he was neat, he was up and doing, he was looking good, and all of a sudden, where is your handsomeness, man? Where is your handsomeness? Let the handsome women, men arise. Let the handsome men arise and take care of their handsomeness. Don't forget your handsomeness, man and woman. Don't forget your awesomeness. That's what thrives a relationship. That's what makes relationship thrive. Don't forget your awesomeness. Don't forget your handsomeness. For the men, don't forget your handsomeness. For the ladies, don't forget your awesomeness. In as much as you want to sacrifice, in as much you want to give all your time to a man, you want to give all your time to a woman, make time for yourself. Make time for yourself. Time to rest, time to relax, time to think about your life, time to get yourself skilled, time to get yourself empowered, time to get yourself, time to read, to enlarge your coast. Time to get to know more words. The more words you know, the more power you're going to get. So you need to read, you need to get yourself skilled, you need to listen to videos, you need to watch conferences, you need to go to conferences, you need to go to seminars, you need to learn. Don't prioritize those time that you need for yourself for your own detriment. I mean, don't prioritize your own time to the detriment. It will be detrimental to yourself when you do that. So take care of yourself, take care of your time, and take care of your partner. Like the way the marriage system is formed scripturally. Scripturally, the wife is there to help, to be a supporting system, so you're not there to carry all the load. So if you're there to be a supporting system, then it means you should not forget yourself. Take care of yourself, take care of your health. you know so many people are suffering from different diseases because they do not take care of themselves. Take care of yourself, woman. Take care of yourself, man. Somebody said outstanding. Blessing. I'm learning a lot this section. God bless you, man. Bless you, LMs. um Mina Carter is outstanding. Yeah, blessings. So I don't know if anybody has question, because before I round up, I'll be rounding up right now in a jiffy. But until then, I want to say thank you all that have joined. Thank you, you. Oh, somebody said something. Wait, Leos, I didn't. You said I have a question. Did I do that? What do you do when your partner wants you to always report? Aha, I didn't put that question. Let me quickly answer that before I go. What do you do? What do you do when your partner wants you to always report whatever you do to him, or whatever, or wherever you go, and he feels there is no need to do so to you? Ooh, then it's cheating. And that is cheating. And that's cheating. I mean, if your partner wants you to report everywhere you go, everywhere, whatever you do to him or her, but she doesn't want, or he doesn't want you, he doesn't want to report, that is cheating. That is cheating. That's why I'm saying that the marriage should be, is like you giving someone and somebody is giving you back. So in as much as your partner wants you to know your whereabouts, it's good actually. It's good for your partner to know where you're about. Well, I'll be working from 7 to 4 p.m. I'll be working from 7 to 3 p.m. I'll be, after that, I'll be going to the kino from 6 to 8 p.m. I'll be back home 9 p.m. It's not a big deal. I mean, to be frank, it's not a big deal. But if you are the one always telling, and the person is not telling you, then there is no love there. There is manipulation. There is manipulation. So these are the signs that the person is going to manipulate you. So if you eventually marry that kind of person, the person is going to manipulate you. So the person should be able to be open to, in as much as you want to know, and that's what I also talked about before. In as much you love somebody, you don't need to be like um, you don't need to be everything. You don't need to be everywhere in their life. They need their breathing space, because when you become that, it means you have irrational love. And that's what I was saying. That's irrational love. That's no pure love. Pure love gives you the liberty to do whatever you want to do. You're happy when you see your spouse. But this kind of person that is always quitching and all that wants to know wherever you are, wherever you go, but she doesn't want you to tell. She doesn't want to tell where she is. Then you can see the person is already caged you somewhere that you need a breathing space to explode. And the earlier you explode, the better. Because if the person continues like that in marriage, it's very difficult for you. So I hope I've been able to answer your question, Louis. That's a very nice, a beautiful question. Thanks for that. Let me see if I can also see other people question. Please share this thread so that other people can join. And those people that didn't join on time can also watch later. And they can only watch if you help us to share. God bless you. I want to see if I can round up. I don't know if I have any question that I didn't answer. Sorry if I didn't answer your question here. I'll check later in the comment section. I will check the questions later and I'll drop my answer there. Okay. Somebody says, Ma, what if the partner is I can't read that. What if the partner is just being insecure? If your partner is being insecure, then insecurity could be solved. Insecurity could be solved. So you have to ask. There are some. If the person is being insecure, then there are some things the person is seeing in you. The person is not sure, and if he can have a relationship with you, so he might not be able to share. So, but if the person is really sure he or she wants to have a relationship with you, that's the beginning of somebody that wants to be with you. Somebody that wants to be with you wants to share his whereabouts. The person cannot be in Sokoto and tell you he's in Lagos. It's a lie. If he starts with a lie, it's going to end with a lie. So it's either you make it and you start a relationship in a good foundation. Hey, let's do it like this. If you're in this place, just tell me you're there. If I'm here, I'm going to tell you I'm there. Let's do it like that. Let us remove lies. So you build your marriage and your relationship on a solid foundation that will help you in the future. What if the partner is just being insecure? If his partner is being insecure, the partner is not ready to love. It's not ready to be in a relationship. When you're ready to be in a relationship, insecurity disappears. Yeah. So I need to sign out now. Louis says, thank you, ma'am. Yeah, thanks for that question. And I want to see, I don't know if I checked. Minister Adebukola is also here. Thank you so much for joining, despite your busy schedule. Thank you, Adebukola. God bless you. Who again? I think I want to sign out now. Thanks everyone that has joined. Who is saying? Who is writing something? James says it's been a wonderful section. Will be okay. It's been a wonderful section. Thank you so much, James. Thank you, DB. All the DBs. Thank you, Destiny. Thank you, Ibrahim. I didn't see Omole today. Okay. Who again is there? Simon, thank you. Thank you. Thank you, all of you. I can't mention everybody's name. I'm trying to see if I can, but I cannot. So thank you, everyone, for joining. I really appreciate you. And please share this and build your relationship on solid foundation so that you have a beautiful relationship. All these sections that I'm doing every Saturday is a blessing for you. Is a blessing for your future. For those of you that are not yet married, is a big blessing for you in the future. So I'm so happy for availing myself or to come here to talk about these relationship issues. And if you have something private that you want us to discuss, like I usually say, book a section with me, write me privately, and I will share also my time with you to make sure that you have a befitting solution to what you're passing through. Thanks so much. Debukola says, thank you, Apostle Stacy. Yes, thank you. Thank you, dear. And Sontechuku says, thank you, Ma. Season's greetings. Season's greetings. I want to play. I don't know if it's Tom Tochuku that's requested some Christmas jingles. I know Facebook might get angry with Christmas jingles, but let me just play one before we go. So this one says it's beginning to look like Christmas. So we'll just sign out with that.
It's beginning to look a lot like Christmas everywhere you go. Take a look at the 5 and 10. It's glistening once again with candy canes and silver lanes that glow. It's beginning to look